This is KCAA.
Look, ain't no time to be down and out. Tune in to the thing to be proud about. When you sacrifice and reach your goal, you can look back, clown, and laugh it out. You know the station that's so amazing. Need inspiration and motivation. When you're in your mind with nowhere to go, well then welcome to the Matt Rock Show.
There we go. Welcome to the Matt Rock Show. My name is Matt Rock. I am your host here. We really appreciate everybody that's tuning into the show, listening on the radio, locally in the Inland Empire on 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and of course 102.3 FM. We have a lot of people that are watching the show on KCAAradio.com and of course the MattRockShow.com, Spreaker, a whole bunch of platforms. You guys, we have an hour of incredible value, entertainment, motivation, a lot of fun. I have some incredible guests here with me in the studio. These two guys, not only friends of mine, but they are locally here in the Inland Empire, organizers of the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, the largest investment club here in the Inland Empire. Also, Todd, you are the CEO of Rehab Loan Group, and
Indeed,
together you form a partnership for Community Restoration Group. So you guys are so grateful to have you on the show. And how you guys doing, Steven and Todd?
I took a nap. I'm doing awesome.
There you go.
I'm doing awesome as usual, Matt, you know.
Of course. So we're going to start this show right. We're actually going to enjoy one of our favorite beverages here on the show. So
Are we breaking up beer now?
yeah, we're going to grab a
do it.
brewski. We're going to have a good time.
All right, so we got to pick, though. I got 3 different kinds, and y'all got to pick which one's yours.
Okay.
You got it. Rochambeau.
All right, now I got strawberry blonde, which I thought was kind of Matt's direction. He goes a little lighter.
Is it lower carb or what?
It's a low-carb strawberry ale. I got a Cali Cream, which is like a vanilla bean, kind of like a little more coffee-ish.
That sounds good.
Hey,
And I got a Rogue Brown, which is like my go-to. It's like a local brewery. It's bomb.
That's
So
your go-to.
You guys
You
pick
take
that's
one.
a good
Rogue?
too. I'm going to grab the blue.
All right.
You
I
know,
got the
that's how I-
strawberry blonde.
That's how I make a beer selection.
All right, now
by the color of the bottle or the label.
I brought my special bottle opener.
Yes, you
This
did.
is the very first thing I used to give these away to bartenders when I would want to like get in at a bar. So it's
Everybody
a
stand back.
Switchblade
Dang.
bartender or Switchblade bottle opener, and like so I would give it as a gift. They were like cheap, like $10. But like everybody loved
Thank
me
you,
for
sir.
giving it to them. So like I didn't have to wait for service. It's always like a little gimmick, right, to get in with people.
Well, guys, cheers to the final episode of Season 1 of the Matt Rock Show,
Cheers.
Episode 14. So
Episode
we're going to
14.
enjoy our favorite beverage here on the Matt Rock Show. Cheers, you guys.
You got to drink after you cheers.
Oh no,
That's
is
true.
good.
Can't believe I forgot that part. So you guys,
Cali Creamin'.
It's good or what?
Mother Earth Brewing
I
Company.
haven't had that one yet.
That is very good.
all right.
Okay.
So you guys, what you can expect for the next hour is a whole lot of motivation, inspiration, encouragement. The Matt Rock Show mission really is to inspire, motivate, and empower young men and women all across the world to live a life of courage, confidence, and of course passion. So really we're going to talk about real estate investing. We're going to dive into what you guys do with the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. We're going to teach you as the listeners and viewers how to grab hold of free resources that you guys provide as well.
Sweet.
We're going to go back into our stories, and of course we're going to end the show with a little bit of fun and maybe some impersonation. So I'm really
man.
looking forward to that.
So it's like a day in
That's
the
pretty
office.
much like all we do all day anyway.
All day. All day. So I'm so sorry that we don't have so much time to really dive into your stories, but if you guys can take a few minutes, we'll start with Steven. If you could dive into,
You would pick me first.
of
The
course.
elevator pitch.
Yeah, the
All right,
elevator
I get
pitch.
the 2.5 minute version. That's what's quoted here on this sheet. I give Matt a hard time about our strict timeline. So if I go back to like 22 years old, somewhere in my early 20s, I started working at a title company. You know, me and Todd growing up, like Todd had sort of hand me books, like you should check this out, and like we'd kind of talk about like different entrepreneurial, real estate. Like I don't know, I guess Rich Dad Poor Dad was real estate based to begin with, and then
Yep.
kind of went that direction. Todd went stocks. I had a baby on the way at 22. I was like, oh, but I got to do something. I got to like support a kid. So I jumped into real estate from title, which title, if you aren't familiar with real estate, is how they insure property. Worked with an agent. This crazy lady walked to my office one day and said, I need somebody to buy my house. And I was dumb enough and read enough books to say, I'll do it. And my brother's baseball coach, who had been buying property for like the last 7 or 8 years, he was nice enough to help me, which is sort of why we give back now. And I made a bunch of money, lost a whole bunch of money and other people's money. For some reason, stuck with this. I have no idea why. I just loved it that much. And then now, I don't know, a decade later, like we built multiple real estate firms. I've walked tens of thousands of properties, bought hundreds. That's the abridged version.
There we go. And Todd, what about you?
All right, so I got into the business. Well, same thing as Steve. You know, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad right out of high school by Robert Kiyosaki. Fantastic book. It's kind of the gateway drug for a lot of people that have gotten into real estate. But read the book, you know, got it on CD, listened to it, you know, like crazy, and yeah, showed it to everybody I knew, and then from there went on to sell life insurance. You know, made no sense. And of course, me being like a 21-year-old selling life insurance made no sense to anybody because here I am, this little kid teaching people about retirement. And so went from there and started working with my mom, who's a real estate appraiser, and learned a lot about valuation, how to value property. And then Steven had gotten into real estate around that time, started doing his first flip. And, you know, he was inspirational to me, so I started, you know, looking into getting into real estate investment. And, yeah, we started buying property and, you know, haven't really looked back since. But, yeah, done a lot of different things within buying property, from rentals and buying, well, we were doing loans for a little while, too. I did that for quite a few years. And, yeah, now we're back to just doing flips and stuff and having a great time. So, yeah, that's pretty much the short version.
The abridged version seems
The
so
abridged
tiny.
version.
Yeah.
With a minute to spare.
Dang, you guys are
Look
on
at that.
point. I appreciate that. So for those of you that are actually tuning into the show, you're listening or watching the show here, and you're a little bit late, my buddy here, Todd, wants to say...
Welcome to the Matt Rock
To the
Show.
Matt Rock Show. Welcome to the Matt Rock Show. Welcome to the Matt Rock Show. Welcome to the 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 Matt Rock Show.
I want to hear Todd do the full version.
You gotta wait till the end of the show for that. I have it planned.
I want to hear the whole version of it.
You want me to do the like the dubstep version of the
You know
entire
what, Todd?
thing?
If you could actually do the Jimmy Powers "Welcome to the Matt Rock Show" impersonation,
It's
we do-
phenomenal.
I hear this all the time. Let our audience know how that sounds. Give it to them.
Wait a minute, I don't know the lyrics to the whole thing.
That's why it's perfect.
You mean like the
You
ain't
ca-
no time to be down and out. Tune into the things you're proud about.
Some reach your goals.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna make it go. Welcome to the Matt Rock Show.
Almost every day I walk into the office, I hear this. It's so great.
I can't help it, you know.
No, it's perfect. Thank you. I'm almost crying over here.
Because it's, you know, until you show up, it's our show, and then you walk in the
Yeah.
door, and it's like, welcome to the Matt Rock Show.
As he walks in the door with his arms on his hip and shit like Superman.
Exactly. Captain America, more like.
Oh, man. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into a little bit of mentoring and apprenticeship. So if you haven't known already, well, a couple years ago, I dove into wanting to learn about real estate investing, and the gateway drug for me really was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, of course. We'll dive into that with our Solid Rock Talk segment a little bit later. But at one point, I had come to the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. I met you guys, and of course, Todd, you said from stage during Haves and Wants, you had let people know and said, hey, I'll give you 2 hours of my time if you take me out to lunch. Well, I love food. Have a good time. We'll talk some business, right? I really took you up on that.
That was an
and,
expensive day for Matt.
Yes, it was. I took you both out to lunch, and I was very grateful for that day because really it provided a win-win scenario for us. You brought me onto the team, gave me the opportunity really for me of a lifetime to learn the business, to really be under your wing, to develop a friendship as well full-time. And I'm very grateful for that. So that was back in early October, and the day that I said yes to that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. The day that I said yes to that opportunity, you had asked me to be on your radio show, which is the best real estate investment show ever.
It's so great.
Well, this is before it was the greatest real estate investment show ever. You know, this was back when it was just, you know, what was the opening? I can't remember. I can't remember how they used to say it before. You know, it was crack open your favorite beverage, log on that dial.
Oh yeah, the original opening. Yeah, that's where the beer I guess comes from, but it was kind of
With
was
the
an
sound
odd
effects
opening.
and everything, perfect.
Yeah,
music.
exactly.
But before we dive further into really my first experience being a part of the team with you guys, and we could dive into your radio show as well, I'm very grateful to say that I'm in the midst of my first real estate investment deal, flipping a house with you guys in my business. Thank you. Been waiting for this forever.
Yeah.
Slow clapping.
I was a guest on your show, and I remember we talked about being a newbie in real estate investing, and I hadn't had a deal under my belt. I had not had a property under contract, and this first one, very grateful to partner with you guys on in some aspect. This is, for me, it's big time for a $10,700 profit deal, so I'm very excited about that. I know a lot of people, as
Possibly
we talked
more.
about, possibly more, that's right. Got to talk to Mike about that, see what we can come down to.
Yeah.
And so... You ever know how your mind goes blank when you have so much you want to
Well,
say?
so
That happens.
so while you were talking, and I realized like we have essentially 10 minutes in this segment that we're 2 minutes into,
Yeah, if we're
according to
going
the schedule,
The itinerary.
the itinerary.
You guys aren't going to let this down, are you?
No,
What?
it's good because we do not ever do anything except improv. So no, yeah, and like Todd
Perfect.
took improv school, so
3 pages of
it's
it.
3 pages.
Yeah.
Trace pages.
So the you have to shuffle the papers to get the effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a lot of
How
papers to
vulnerable?
straight.
It's your radio show, so I won't monopolize it. Okay, so how vulnerable are you willing to be?
As vulnerable as you want me to be. Take it away.
Okay,
Wow.
so, well, I mean, we want people to get an idea of what comes from like an apprenticeship, what they should expect, right?
Yeah.
The conversation that me and you and Todd had early on at lunch, and then afterwards, when we asked about, because we went to lunch with you, and then I had a conversation with you. I was like, "This Matt Rock guy, like,
He's
dude's
intense."
like,
Yeah.
both of us, like, he's
At the
intense.
same time.
Yeah, and
We
and
jinxed over it for a while.
we did. Yeah, we were seeing the truck.
Rochambeau.
So when a lot of what you had spoken to us was like very broad and high, like 10,000-foot level. The word I hate the most, entrepreneurship, right? And you didn't have direction. You just know you wanted to work for yourself.
Yep.
You just knew that, like, you didn't know what that looked like, which is where we were.
Yep,
we
been
just,
there.
Yeah, we were. Me and Todd had all these theories of like what we thought it was going to be like to have like employees and pay them well, and like we talked about like working like in and out, because in and out like gave the employees good insurance and all these weird ideas, but we didn't know what we were going to sell.
Yeah.
And it
Forget
was-
about the product or the service.
yeah, it was all theoretical. It's like hipster theory, right?
Right.
Before they were hipsters. And so you came to us like that, and we didn't really know where to go with that. And I don't think you did either. And so when you came in, we were like, look, I know this may not be your gig, but will you basically take a clerical position, essentially, right? Like almost secretarial position, where your job is to basically do like aid us in any way, like an aid to camp, like
Executive assistant.
executive assistant
It's on the
which
business
is,
card.
It's essentially, I mean, it's essentially like second to a 4-star general.
Yeah.
And that position takes 2 things, right? Humility and the absolute willingness to learn. And you said that's for me. And I don't think people appreciate how valuable an apprenticeship could be. I didn't think I appreciated it when I had the opportunity. I just knew that like I could make money doing this. And so, 7 months in, you're in a position where you're like, well, I need to do this on my own. Like go out and buy your own property, which is ideal. And it's been a big evolution. So really the question, maybe what you should be talking about is what that mental shift was like from day one, from like that erratic phone calls, like I just want to buy property and I gotta buy now, to
I remember that
to
phone call.
very like, okay, now what's the next step? How do
Yep.
we do this?
Systematic. So I do remember that phone call I had with you before we went
Sorry
to
to
lunch.
hijack your radio show.
No, it's great. Your special guests, everybody, Stephen McKee and Todd Bayer, of course, here from the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. And to answer your question, that shift really, you knock it into me and every one of your accelerator students and everybody that comes in for a business plan meeting. Really, you wait for the right pristine moment to help people get past the BS they've been telling themselves and the fears that people are living with day in and day out. And for me, a lot of fears come to mind. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to do it wrong. I don't want to get in trouble. These are fears of mine.
Yeah, you're not a rule breaker. That's a tough part for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of, but big time, you're right.
You're not a rule breaker.
And
Matt's a good boy.
Definitely not a lawbreaker.
And really just being around you, you are the sum average of the majority of the people you hang around. They're going to rub off
Yeah.
on you. I worked for you guys full-time as your assistant, per se, and along the lines being your apprentice, really learning and really finding that groove. How does that work? And it is really cool that I've learned that really these fears that myself as a new real estate investor and others have really are not as real as people believe they are. The fear of losing out big time and just whatever fears people have, especially in their first real estate investment transaction and all that stuff, it's just not as real. You prove every fear I've had so far wrong. You show me and you prove to me that I do have what it takes. And when you have mentors and you have somebody that knows the business inside and out, you have a quality team, what do you have to lose? And when you prove to people, I've been there, this is how you do it, really people hold themselves back. And the reason why this is only my first deal, I believe, in these 7 months is because I've been held back by the fears and the beliefs that I've had to where I couldn't make it happen or I was afraid of doing it wrong. So really the mental shift came, it was a progression, of course, over the past 7 months.
Was there any day, though, like anything specific you remember?
Nope.
Because I do, and that's why I'm asking.
Oh, what was it?
Do you remember when I asked you the question about 6 months?
No.
Tell me why you can't accomplish every goal you want to accomplish in the next 6 months.
Tell me why I can.
Do you remember me asking you that?
No.
Oh, man. I remember your face. And you had this look on your face like somebody just punched you. And then, like, he was sitting in the boardroom. So for those of you who haven't been to our office, which is probably everybody listening,
Everybody.
we have like a boardroom, and I do business planning meetings, and Todd takes people, or people take Todd to lunch, and we donate our time. We give 1 to 2 hours of our time to people at least once a week because people give it to us. And I'm sitting across from Matt, and Matt he's always picking our brain when we have some downtime. And it's like it was in the morning, I think, and you had like talked about, I think broadly, it was right before you started going out and door knocking on
Pre-foreclosures?
Not the pre-foreclosures, talking to the code enforcement officers.
Yeah.
Okay, and we were talking, and I said, look, it's a simple question. Like if you take Tim Ferriss's model and one of his 17 questions, like one of them, which I think comes from Peter Thiel.
So I'm starting to remember, by the way.
Is that right? And I said, tell me why you can't accomplish everything you want to accomplish, because you gave me like a income goal, and I said, why can't you get there in the next 6 months? And you had this dumbfounded look on your face, like, I can't believe I have no idea why I can't do that. And like within a week, you were already talking to code enforcement officers. And I feel at least that there I don't know if that exact conversation was, but there was, I don't know how I'm going to do this, and then that happened, and then deals started coming in. So I don't know how that worked.
There's this thing that happens when you're immersed in an environment where you have people around you doing what you want to do, where people that are self-motivating are capable of just pushing into it. If you're around people all the time that are doing it, you have no excuse, and you realize every single day you see this person and you're not doing it, they're looking at you thinking, what's wrong? Why are you not doing this? Like, this is easy to do. You should be doing it. So I think Matt, after a couple of days, just started thinking, I should be doing this. I can do this. They're doing it. If these guys can do it, come on, anybody can do it.
Well, especially because you're entrepreneurial already.
Yes.
You already had like another business, right?
Right.
And so like it's just the transition seems so ridiculous for it to be difficult. So for us, we're almost like making fun of him.
Yeah.
Like Todd and I are looking at Matt, going like, "There's really no reason why you can't do this. What's wrong with this kid?"
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is, because you don't have a sales problem. You have courage to talk to anybody. Like, it seems like you have an incredible amount of energy and motivation. Like, why is this a problem? And then all of a sudden it was like it clicked. So I feel like that's the same way for everybody. They just need to keep going and doing the work until it clicks.
And I think the applicable action step that listeners and viewers around the world really can apply to their life if they're in a similar position is get a mentor in your life. If you want to do something,
Yes.
find somebody that's doing it right. Find somebody that's motivated. They live a life of confidence, courage, and passion, of course, and have them take you under their wing, and they're going to help you break past your limiting beliefs and fears, just like you guys did for me. So,
Can I add a
mentorship,
caveat to that?
Yes.
The caveat is make sure they do the work. Like, lots of people are living a lavish life or a great life or whatever. Like, do the work. Like, you've been in the office. Like, sometimes we're there from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. Not because the hours are necessary, right? Just because, like, we don't want to leave. Do the work constantly, and you have to follow. Do I have time to tell a story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. General McChrystal from our U.S. military, who's retired, he wrote a book, and he talked about his people who had been his aide-de-camp for a lot of years, and he only eats once a day. And so he has this insane work ethic, and he would basically eat at like 8 p.m. And that was it. He'd work out in the morning at like 4 a.m. and only eat once. And all of the people who had worked for him, including this guy who worked for him for like 6 to 8 years, blindly followed him. Like they would just do whatever he wanted them to do, and because his job is as the aide de camp is to make sure a 4-star general operates at the highest level. And there was one guy who worked for him for 6 years, and he didn't eat. He just basically followed the same regiment. And he runs into the guy's tent one day, and he says, hey, I got a problem. I think there's rats eating my pretzels. And the dude walks over, and he looks at it, and he goes, you have pretzels? And he wanted to like choke him because he was so willing to follow and blindly follow that person, and like because he was such a role model for doing the work, that like you almost have to be that blind to follow somebody who's that successful. And I think everybody's skeptical along the way. Like you have to be willing to just accept whatever the punishment is, like the work is to get there.
I agree.
So. Sorry, I don't know if that was like going a different direction, but I feel like that's the thing people miss. They question it over and over and again. They don't get to the point where they think, oh, I should just blindly follow this person because they probably know something I don't know.
Right. And I'm sure a lot of viewers and listeners got a lot of value from that. So earlier you were bringing up entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur is your favorite word in the English dictionary. So let's go ahead and briefly dive into business and entrepreneurship. I'll ask you guys a few questions. We can really go back and forth on it.
All right.
Of course.
Fire.
Yeah, rapid fire. So really, what do you guys feel, maybe some differences off the top of your mind, differences are between being an employee and a business owner, or, of course, as Steven is, an entrepreneur?
Oh,
Right.
man.
You know, employees versus business owners obviously are two different things entirely. An employee has to be somewhere at a certain time, and they have to do certain things. A business owner, if they're doing it right, doesn't have to be anywhere at any given time.
They can leave for a month, and it'll be the same when they get back.
Yep.
That's what they say in Rich Dad Poor Dad, right?
Yep.
That's like his
And we're going to
quote.
dive into that soon, for sure.
Now, there's a difference because sometimes you have business owners who are also operators, people that work for themselves.
Yes.
You know, and they are like employees trapped by themselves. And I've met lots of people like this, and they describe that as having golden handcuffs, where they are making great money, but it's a job. They're tied to it, and it's not the lifestyle of a business owner or an investor, because they can't just go on a vacation for a month and not check in at all.
Yeah.
You know, that's like prison for some people, and I think Stephen and myself think that is prison, and we want nothing to do with that. And I think over the years,
Right there
'cause-
with you.
yeah, we've been operators. You know, we've been solopreneurs, whatever you want to call it, where we've kind of run our own businesses. I can remember my first flip. I mean, I did like basically every aspect of that job myself, where from acquiring the property to doing all the research to doing all the subcontracting to actually swinging hammers, you know, getting dirty, and then trying to sell the property on my own, like trying to do everything because I wanted to keep like all of the deal for me, it's all mine, you know. But my mentality has shifted so much since then, where there are so many more qualified people on every one of those steps than myself. I'm just better at sort of holding the baton and sort of conducting the band, you know, rather than trying to do it all myself.
But that's what, like, if we want to get down to what an entrepreneur is, that's what an entrepreneur is the word actually means to go between. So, like, it is a person, like we are in every aspect of it, right? At Community Restoration Group, we are entrepreneurs. Our job is to take people's money who it's basically sitting doing nothing and put it in a project, and they couldn't have found the project on their own, and to hire a whole bunch of people and put them to work, and that we collect a profit for being the knowledge piece in the middle. And that's what an entrepreneur is. That's what it means to work for yourself. You are bridging a gap between two things that are needed.
Before I ask this next question, let me remind our audience really that we are not financial advisors, we are not CPAs, we are not attorneys, and any material you hear on this show is strictly for entertainment purposes only, and the intention to maybe inspire you if you've been hoping to think differently about money, about business, about career, about your life, and what you dream of, really. We hope that this show inspires you. But again, for financial advice and all that stuff, really do seek the advice of attorney, CPA, all that fun
We're
stuff.
idiots.
So,
We have no idea what we're talking
right.
about.
Exactly.
complete idiots.
We're complete idiots. Do not listen to anything we say.
If you make a decision based upon what we said, that's your fault, not ours.
All right, so the question I want to ask is, before we move on, what are some of the most common excuses that people make to not go into business for themselves or to become an entrepreneur and to do it differently, to really drive away from the 9-to-5 grind for the rest of their lives? For people that want to, what are some excuses?
You want the top three?
Top three. Yeah.
I think it's fear. Plus they have demotivating people at home. A lot of friends and family, relatives that are talking them out of doing this, crazy, ridiculous thing. The fear, and of course the one that I'm now blanking on in my mind. But
I'll give the like what Todd's talking about. I'll give the overall characteristics. So I've heard the story from Brian Koppelman. He's a writer, wrote some great movies. He talks about The Room Full of Writers. I told you about The Room Full of Writers story. So The Room Full of Writers is you got a coffee shop full of people, and there's 10 writers, and they all get together every day, and they talk about how miserable they are, about how nobody bought their script, and they just want to be, a Hollywood writer. And
commiserating.
They're commiserating, which is a terribly awesome term, and they're all sitting around, and every day they get together and commiserate, and then one day somebody's script gets bought, and all of a sudden, that guy's not a part of the club anymore, right? He doesn't have any friends, and all the men and women in this coffee shop feel animosity. Why not me? Why not me? And so what people are really fearing is they're going to lose everything they are comfortable with, everything they understand. They're going to lose their peer group. They're going to lose their income. They're going to lose all of their ego is dragging them back to normalcy. And so the fear, the reason, is because you're lazy, because you know how much it's going to be, how much work it's going to be to start over. And that's what becoming an entrepreneur is. It's literally starting over. Mm-hmm. And being bad at something is really scary when you're the best guy in your IT department, or the best woman who's in your attorney's office, or whatever your job is, right? Like, it's really scary to be dumb again.
That makes sense. Before we move on to, of course, what we're repping right now, the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, Todd, I can't dip you out of this, of course. Carlos, if you can actually play the intro to Todd's radio show, we'd appreciate that.
Oh. Real big fish.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the greatest real estate investment show ever. Here's the flip-flop investor himself, Todd Bayer.
That's a fantastic intro.
There you go. So, Todd, I had to show you some love. So if you could give a brief, shameless plug of your radio show, how people can tune in, and why they should, I would really appreciate that.
Well, what more can I say other than if you want to check out the greatest real estate investment show ever, tune in to KCAA on Thursdays at 4 p.m. We'll be right here and talking about real estate investment here in the Inland Empire. We usually bring on some experts and some newbies and just kind of shoot the breeze for a little bit and have a good time. So
that's full blown Tenacious D style. It's amazing. I forgot you did that.
Oh man, why not? It's the only real estate investment show here, so of course it's the greatest one ever.
Hey, you can do what you want at your radio show.
Exactly. I could call it the greatest real estate investment show ever. Why not?
You can say demigod on your business card if you want.
And hey, if you don't agree with it, just let me know. Let me know why it's not the greatest real estate investment
show
ever.
I'll tell you to turn the radio off and leave me alone.
Exactly.
On the MattRockShow.com, it actually says, "Welcome to the Matt Rock Show, the most motivating and entertaining talk show in 2017." So same thing. If you feel like it's not, you can email me at the MattRockShow@gmail.com. Of course, tell me why not. But
you should be
we do whatever we want.
Email me at sorryidontcare@gmail.com.
That is my second email.
That was my
forwarded there.
That was my G version of what I would have said.
Yeah.
So this is the event that I met both of you at. Really grateful for you guys putting this event on. It provides a lot of value for so many people. Your club really is home to over 2,200 members.
2,500.
2,500.
I don't know where we are on the agenda.
You're good.
Yeah.
So,
don't worry, I got a spare.
Yeah. So if you guys could tell us briefly a little bit about the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. How long have you guys been going strong? What can people expect maybe to experience? And also how people can get more involved and actually join the next club meeting.
Well, the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club is the Inland Empire's premier real estate investment club, which means
it's the #1 club in the Inland Empire.
It is the #1 club. We are the largest business-oriented club in the Inland Empire, and we do focus on real estate investment. It's just a club, not one of these big sales seminars where you go to and people try to pitch you some expensive program.
I spent $41,000 on that one.
We
man.
didn't do that.
Yeah, I
That
know
takes
you
the wind
didn't.
out of my sails.
It makes me so sad.
And I'm not lying.
Don't
by
do
the
that.
way.
By the way, don't do that.
Don't do that until you've come to our club. Let's say that,
My
because
head hurts right now.
some of those things do actually have good information. It's just like trying to take a drink out of a fire hose.
Yeah.
And the people that put those things together have put a lot of effort into them. But what we found is they cut the people short in a sense that they don't give them a good place to start from. And a lot of times you just need a focus, and they have you going in so many directions.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never heard so many high-level things come out of a new person's mouth than when they come from one of these seminars.
It's regurgitated.
Like they talk about very high-level type deal structuring, which, we don't even put this stuff together because it's complicated, and they're not as simple as they might sound. So, those seminars, don't buy those things until you come to our club because it's $20. That's just the cost of getting the mission in for us.
And
really.
I wish, of course, I had checked out your club earlier, and I never would have spent that $41,000.
Yeah.
But
that is
everybody
a true
does.
story.
Everybody does what you do, right? They
Yeah.
go to these seminars,
Yeah.
and then they say, "Oh man, I wish I would have found you guys first."
Yep.
And so, not to toot our own horn, but I mean, like we've been in the business a long time. We know what to avoid, and I would avoid those like the plague until you have some serious experience.
Yeah, and then anyway, we talk about real estate investment every month, fourth Wednesday of the month at the Mission Inn. You can always check it up on meetup.com. Look up the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, and it's a great time. We're having our next meeting on the 26th of this month. So that's 2 Wednesdays from now.
We need to
A
order
week
the
from
camera
Wednesday,
equipment,
yes.
By the way,
We got to order camera equipment.
we need to get that done. We're gonna start recording this like at a much higher level than we are now, so people can see it afterwards. But like the real value is showing up.
Absolutely. You get to meet all the right people, and we get a pretty good attendance at the club now. It's anywhere from about 150 to 200 people showing up every month now.
The cookies disappear quickly if you don't
Yep.
get early.
So
Get there
quickly,
early.
like first 5 to 7 minutes.
Well, because they want, like everybody hated the brownies. Now we got all cookies and they're gone in like 5 minutes.
Yep. So,
And for some reason, I always choose to be on a diet the day of the meeting and don't get either cookies or brownies.
Me either.
So that is the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. If you want more information on that, of course, you heard it from Todd. You can check out the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club on meetup.com. And, of course, you can go to IEREIC.org for more information. I know you have more events as well. Happy Hour. We just had that last Friday.
Yep.
And
Coffee.
Coffee's
yeah,
coming up this Saturday.
There we go. So check it out. So what we're going to dive into, the last 2 segments of the show, numero uno, this is Solid Rock Talk. Every week we have a new book, personal development book that I really appreciate, has brought value to my life. And our goal really is to do this book as much justice as we can. But for you to get the full value, you have to check it out for yourself. You can find Rich Dad, Poor Dad after tonight's show, starting tomorrow, Tuesday, April 18th, on Solid Rock Talk on the MattRockShow.com. So we're just really going to dive into the book. I'm going to pick a page that I've bookmarked. I've gone through
It's
these.
no longer a coaster now. And now
Yeah, it was my coaster for my beverage here. And I'm going to go to a page that I've bookmarked. I see a quote, maybe in bold, that I really appreciate. It makes me think, and it challenges me. So what I'm going to do is say the quote. We're going to go to the page, and whatever I say, you guys can chime in on it, whatever thoughts you have about it,
All right.
whatever that looks like.
Kangaroos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Space shuttle.
All right. Lesson 1. So the Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, the gateway drug really to real estate investing for many of us,
Awesome
including
book.
myself.
Just to be an entrepreneur in general.
Yeah.
To be in any kind of like solopreneur, entrepreneur, business owner. I'm going to use all
You
the
know
like
what?
bad words right now.
I mean, if you're stuck in your life and you're at a point where you don't know what you're going to do with the rest of your
Yeah.
life, just read the book.
Seriously.
Read the book. That's all I got to say.
I can't. Yeah, I can't say it enough.
When I read it, I couldn't put it down. It
Yeah.
took me pretty much
I read
one
it in
night
2
to-
days. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, same day.
Yep.
All right, so lesson 1, this is on page 9. The title of lesson 1 is The Rich Don't Work for Money. The poor and middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them.
And I know exactly what they're going at right
Yep,
there.
me too.
Yeah, you put your money to work for you. It's you're not out there chasing dollars. You have your dollars chasing dollars.
Well, let's break that down to what we're actually doing now, right?
Okay.
So, again, right, is this for entertainment purposes?
Yes.
The best way I've heard to describe money is a Lilliputian. So if you've seen the movie Gulliver's Travels, the Lilliputians are little tiny creatures that tie him down to the beach. So they're little soldiers that go out and they go do work for you. Now, you also have to keep in mind that you don't have to use your own money, that you can use anybody else's, because you're doing them a favor by putting theirs to work. So for the average person who's like, I don't have any money, I don't know what to do, don't worry, use somebody else's. You're doing them a solid by using their money. And we take people's money.
we don't take it.
Well, they wire it to us, and then we wire it to an escrow company, and then they give us a house. And then it goes to work, and it comes back, and we keep the difference.
So your money's working for you. You're not putting in the man hours that your money is working for
Right.
you.
Those people are passive investors.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
their money is lent to us, they're off on a beach, drinking Mai Tais or whatever, drinking their favorite beverage.
They call us every once in a while and bother us, but that's really about it. They call and say, hey, what's going on? We're like, everything's fine. Like, great, thanks. Call you later.
Some of our best investors are like, they'll call us once every 2 months and say, everything good? We're like, yep. They're like, great.
Thanks.
Got anything new coming up? We do. Perfect.
Great. I have some more money.
Yeah.
All right. So, and of course, so the Flip Flop Investor Show, right? Of
Right.
course. You guys do a lot of flips. We're doing flips. And of course, there are flops.
We have done some flops.
we
Yeah,
got some,
so
yeah.
when it comes to investing in people to work with, people want to be aware of the right circumstances, the right systems, the right businesses, people, investors, and all that stuff. Of course, we're telling people that you want to put your money to work for you. And is there anything that you would advise people to stay away from? Certain types of people?
You have 2 hours?
Oh, man. Yeah, Lin He. Stay away from that guy.
There we go.
Seriously.
I brought it out. There we go.
No, there's obviously with any investment, you should do your due diligence. Talk to your financial advisor. Talk
Please
to your
do.
attorney.
Not us.
people like
Security,
that.
security, though.
Any
Security.
security.
No,
anything.
but I mean, have security. Have it backed by security.
Oh, of course, yeah. Don't just make blind investments in stuff that are unsecured. I mean, that's very high risk stuff. I mean, you can do it if you're willing to take on that risk and charge the requisite interest rate that would go with that. But check with your financial people and your legal people before you do any kind of investments.
The super quick flop story in a minute or less, just timeline.
shit.
So
Okay.
you get in business with this guy, and he's just doing the business dirty.
Oh, you want? Okay, we could talk about that one. The one Pacific Palisades. There's
Okay.
You get just if you really want to lose a lot of money or lose a lot of time, and hire the wrong contractor on a very expensive
And make
piece of
him also
property.
your lender.
Yeah, and also make him your lender.
But I'll take blame for this one since Todd said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I'm like, "Oh, he's got a great reputation." Nah, it turns out no.
It's fine. We learn lessons too. We just took a hit on a property not that long ago. From a loan we did that went south, and we
40
lost.
G's.
Yeah, lost about I was thinking of another one, but we lost about $5,600 on it.
Oh, yeah, that one
up in the
too.
mountains. So we're not immune to it. It happens to us. Sometimes things go awry, but we have more positives than we do negatives, and that's the way we try to run the business.
You'll hear people say like it's about 7 or 8% loss.
Yeah.
It's about what you expect to make. About take your total returns. Like, let's say you make $1 million for the year. Expect
Yeah.
to lose between 100 and 50 grand on miscellaneous stuff.
Yeah. Every once in a while, there's going to be newspaper in place of insulation.
All right, so I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next quote. This is lesson 2, page 57. This is: a person can be highly educated, professionally successful, and financially illiterate.
Oh man.
Why should people be aware of that statement right there?
A lot of these people will carry an MD or a JD. We've found out. They're fantastic at what they do professionally, but as far as money is concerned, they have no idea what to do with it, and they have lots of it just sitting there. And they have, they'll put it in a CD or something dumb
Money
like
market
that.
account.
Yeah, money market. The stock market's even worse. But they,
It's a lottery.
yeah, yeah. I know you'd be better off buying lottery tickets. I think
Just
yourself,
buy
but-
millions of dollars in lottery tickets. It might perform better.
But we've definitely found that to be true, and it seems like the smarter the people are professionally, the dumber they are financially. And that's not a rule. Obviously, there are people that don't fit that, but
Well, you and I can't fix a heart,
no.
so it's you choose the thing you're an expert in, and so
But I'll give it a try.
I got my pocket knife.
Yeah,
There,
I'm a nice guy.
there's the problem is expertise, right? If you're amazing at something, you're probably bad at a lot of other stuff. So, if you can't run a financial calculator, you need to examine your life. And if I could give anybody one piece of advice today, it would be take some time, learn to run a financial calculator. There's a fantastic book called Invest in Debt by Jimmy Napier. It looks like a Dr. Seuss book. It's about 100 pages long. There's a 10B2 calculator app that's like a brown symbol on the App Store. It's a phenomenal application. Costs you like $7. It's worth every single dollar you spend on it. And if you get the book to go with it, which is $20, so for a $27 investment, you could probably, I don't know, I learned the financial calculator and I saved myself $1,400 the next day. So it paid for itself really quickly.
All right, so for this next one, I'm actually going to read it from the book. But for those of you that are employees, and you'll understand what I'm talking about in just a second, but for those of you that are employees, you have a job, a career, whatever it is that you're doing, or if you're an investor, a business owner, whatever it is, there's no judgment, there's no pressure to do anything that we're doing or we'd hope you be inspired to do. Whatever it is you want to do with your life, do it. We support you in that. So a lot of people are very happy being school teachers. A lot of people are very happy working at McDonald's. And a lot of people aren't. So for those of you that aren't, this might punch you in the gut a little bit. So lesson 2, page 68, Robert Kiyosaki says, as an employee who is also a homeowner, right? Most homeowners think their home is an asset. And in the book, we're not going to dive into it now. We don't have time. But Robert really dives into what a true asset is and a liability. He makes it so simple to understand that your elementary school kids can actually understand what a liability and an asset is. So check it out. So anyway, as an employee who is also a homeowner, your working efforts are generally as follows. There are 3 things your efforts go to. Number 1, you work for the company. Employees make their business owner or the shareholders rich, not themselves. Your efforts and success will help provide for the owner's success in retirement. Number 2, you work for the government. The government takes a share from your paycheck before you even see it. By working harder, you simply increase the amount of taxes taken by the government. Most people work from January to May just for the government. When I first read that, that super punched me in the gut and further drove me to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's like 37%, right? I mean,
That's hideous right there. That's ugly. Number 3 and last, you work for the bank. After taxes, your next largest expense is usually your mortgage and credit card debt. So I'm sure that this is really tough for a lot of people that are employees and they're not minding their own business. They're not building their asset column. They're focusing on their income statement. They're really fitting in these 3 subcategories of what they're doing as employees. So if you really are inspired to change the way that you would like to do business or you would like to earn money and maybe focus on building your asset column, what you can do is, I know that Stephen Todd have put together a bunch of free resources that can hopefully inspire you and empower you to start minding your own business, maybe in real estate. So you can actually go to, in your web browser, it really is this simple. Oh, man. We talked to grown adults, 40 and over, that can't get this right. Listen, go to google.com, not google.com, go to your web browser, www.crg.email. That's it. No.com, crg.email.
Yeah.
Go there, subscribe. You'll get a confirmation email. Hey, do you want to confirm your subscription here for some free resources? Yes. And if you want to, great. If not, perfect. And then after that, you'll get an email. Let's get started by Community Restoration Group. So I'm very grateful that I have these resources that so many people do as well.
what is it? What are the resources?
Resources include how a presentation you put together on how to start buying and flipping houses in Southern California today. So
These are free, P.S.
free, not $41,000 like I spent.
Oh, man.
Free.
Could you stop saying that? I didn't go to the bathroom before we started. You know?
Yeah, so amongst it as well, joint venture spreadsheet. Let's say you're actually out there and you find a deal and you need financing for this deal. I know that you guys will put up
the money.
You put up the money, and
And
you'll
you
joint
risk
venture
nothing.
with that.
We risk everything.
Risk nothing. There
So
you go.
Plus, you know, the benefit, too, is that we're looking at this thing, and we're not going to put up money if it's a bad deal, and we'll let you know if it's good or bad. If we do it, it's because it was a good deal.
I want to like add a caveat to like what you're talking about. You know, if you're happy with your job, whatever. So Gary Vaynerchuk always says, he's like, this message isn't for those of you who are happy, right? If you found your life's goal and you're happy to be an employee and like being a school teacher is everything to you, then I don't want to make you feel bad about your existence because you already found what you love. This is for the people who are angry about their position, right? If you hate what you're doing and you're looking for an answer, I personally believe we have it, because if you want to learn to buy property, which is how everybody in this country that's rich got rich, with the exception of those people who filed patents and started businesses, and that's why those people don't change the laws, and you get this email from us, which has every single thing I think you need to get started, and you do a deal with us or not, it doesn't matter to us, but we'll put up all the money if you need it. You have no excuses left, and if you're a curmudgeon and in your position where you're angry, like this is the solution to your angry, I can't figure out how to get out of this rat hole job position.
There we go. So we're going to spend about 1 minute on this. This is the last quote from the book we'll dive into.
All right.
Rich Dad believed. Now, when you dive into the book, you'll understand. This guy had a biological father, and then his best friend's dad was his quote-unquote rich dad, and then his real dad was his poor dad. He learned from both, and they lived two different lifestyles.
His real dad was a physician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, his biological father was a physician, and his rich dad was an investor, business owner.
Okay, got you. So Rich Dad believed that the words "I can't afford it" shut down your brain.
Oh.
How can I afford it? Opens up possibilities, excitement, and dreams.
Okay, yeah. I mean, how do you say it better than that?
How
You
can
know?
I anything? Everything should be how can I anything.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah.
How can I, whatever it is, how can I?
And that's the entrepreneurial shift, that you're going to take in your mind. It goes from I can't to how can I, and that's really the biggest thing you're going to take out of that book. And it's awesome you ended with that one, because that's the biggest takeaway from that book, really. And once you read everything in the book, that becomes more and more clear. And by the time you're done reading that book, you're like ready to start buying stuff.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to go and get it today.
Yeah, like, I'm going to go buy a lawnmower and put that lawnmower to work for me. You know what I mean? You start thinking about all the things you could do with your money besides buying a big screen television and besides buying a Mercedes and buying all this stuff that you don't need, because those are all liabilities. Instead, you want to buy things that are going to make you money. And that book is just, it's the most powerful book I've ever read.
He actually didn't, I think he describes it and you didn't say it. He describes the difference between an asset and liability, between an asset puts money in your pocket and a liability takes money out of it. It's not really hard to make that decision.
No.
Right? It's everything in your life. If you want to do it, it's how can I? And every financial decision you make, if you're trying to make the decision of is this consumerism or an investment, is it going to put money in my pocket or take it out of it? Walk around with those two philosophies and you got 90% of it.
There we go. So the Matt Rock Show, as well as providing incredible value for listeners and viewers worldwide. We touched about 7 or 8 different countries now. People are tuning into the show, which is really cool, and across the United States, coast to coast. Really, one part about it, too, is really it's like a vlog, per se, of my life. And what's going on is, as of May 1st, you guys are bringing on a new assistant, and which is incredible. It's going to just do such amazing things for you guys. And for myself, I'm going full-time with my own business, Solid Rock Investors, you guys. So if you guys are interested.
I think I'm slow clapping for the same thing.
Slow clap for that.
I'm excited.
So excited.
We hired an extremely talented executive assistant, because Matt was both. He was executive assistant and apprenticeship. And then the apprenticeship worked, right? And he bought a property.
Right.
I'm like, oh, my God, like it worked.
Yeah, now it's time to let you, fly off and be your own butterfly.
Go, little birdie. Go.
So the plan is 5 a month to bring in. So
Not a problem.
Massive action,
Do it.
10x.
Do it.
There we go. So, yeah, if you guys are actually in the Inland Empire and you're looking for a $500 income opportunity, you can speak with me directly about that. You can check out solidrockinvestors.com. A little bit for more info. You can also email me at matthewrock@solidrockinvestors.com. And, of course, if you need to sell your house, if you're in a difficult situation, check out solidrockinvestors.com. You'll see that, really, I can help you close in 15 days. I can put up a cash offer in 24 hours and really get you out of that tough situation and moving forward. So, again, that's solidrockinvestors.com for more info. Can't wait to help out so many people. May is going to kick ass. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's dive into the last segment of the show. We got 6 minutes for this.
Oh, man.
Todd and I have been looking forward to this all day. So we were talking about entertainment. This is an entertaining show as well. We have some impersonations. So, Todd, I'm going to ask you some questions. I know you like Family Guy. Family Guy is an incredible show.
It's a funny show.
It is a really funny show. We were doing these impersonations earlier today at the office. It was great. You're the best you can. What does Cleveland Brown sound like?
Oh, yeah, Cleveland Brown. He sounds a little bit quieter. He's a proprietor of a delicatessen.
Peter Griffin.
Hey, everybody, this is Peter Griffin. Good to have me on the show. Thank you, Matt, again, for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
You got to be watching this in video.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you guys can watch this at the Matt Rock Show YouTube channel.
Or not,
Starting tomorrow, Tuesday, April 18th, go to the Matt Rock Show YouTube and subscribe and check out episode 14 with these
He
guys.
said Stewie Griffin.
Stewie Griffin.
Do it.
Just do it.
Hey, everyone, it's Stewie Griffin here. I don't do Stewie. It's a tough one.
Stewie.
Okay, all right, so we do this all the time. Backflip! I can't stand this movie,
Golden
but I
Jet.
really like it from a distance when we talk about it. Central Intelligence.
Kevin
The
Hart
Rock.
and
The Rock.
Oh yeah. You want me to do The Rock?
Of course.
No can do, Jet. No, this man insulted you, and I can't do that impression.
Not even close.
And you're big time into the corns.
Oh, I'm big time into the corns. Absolutely.
Oh my god. Without cussing, if we could do Just Friends, which is probably an all-time favorite for you,
Did Chris come? Is he here?
Oh,
you can
Chris.
find out.
Chris. Chris.
you can't. You can't do it.
Oh.
All right, let's move on.
All right, moving on. We can't do it without cussing. You know?
You can't. You
It's
can't
just
do it.
fantastic.
Yeah. It's not as funny without the profanity.
All right, if Mr. T was to give the Matt Rock Show audience life advice, what would it be?
You know, you need to be the ball, Jet, and throw yourself.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
All right. I think I might have one impersonation I can do.
Please let it be Batman.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's Batman, so I might go through different scenarios. I'm going to talk to you guys, Matt Rock,
All right.
and Batman might
Is it
come
it's
into
the
the
college
studio.
humor version?
It's the clean college humor version. So we're going to have a good time, and a lot of you are really going to be
Lost.
having a gut-wrenching time. Well, some are going to be lost, but a lot of people are going to be enjoying this because they know what really goes on in the script.
Oh man.
Yeah, so you guys know that I eat healthy. I work out a week like 3 times. And when I work out, it's hardcore. And, you know, my face doesn't sweat. It's not really wet at the beginning, but it definitely was at the end. And, you know, because I'm sweating really hard, work out really hard. And, you know, in the gym when you're looking for a certain machine, maybe to work out the biceps, you know, the pythons, and then you see it and you're like, I found it. I'm the world's greatest detective.
Right.
Yeah, of course. And,
I almost joined in.
And, you know, I'm so grateful that I'm doing a deal with you guys, Community Restoration Group, and sign me up for another. In order that would surprise you.
Oh, man.
You know, and in your business, of course, in real estate business, you want to make sure that you have asset protection. And, you know, we go out to lunch sometimes between the hours of 1 and 3 p.m. And you know, sometimes we have an all-you-can-eat buffet. Hometown buffet. And, you know, when you have the bacon wrapped around the scallops, really seals in the flavor.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I wish we could do the not clean version.
Oh, man.
But
You have to watch the college humor. What's it called? Batman.
Batman can't stop thinking about getting jiggy with it, but it's another word, so I'm not going
Right.
to say on the radio.
It's college humor though. It's amazing.
Yeah, so Todd, you know, of course, when you're this is the last one, teaching your kids, you know, you have 2 kids.
I do.
Parker's birthday was just this weekend.
On
That's
Sunday.
awesome.
He's 42.
And, yeah, and when you were teaching a 42-year-old kid the ABCs, you know, really, A is for Alfred, B is for Bat, and C is for Community Restoration Group. You guys, this has been such a fun
we
episode.
go.
This is the last episode of season 1 of the Matt Rock Show. You guys, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. Carlos, take it away with some music. There we go. And Stephen and Todd, I'm very grateful for you. Very grateful for our friendship, everything we have going on. You guys, thank you so much for rocking with me and every single one of my special guests for the past 14 weeks. If there's a season 2 in the works, I definitely want to hear from you. If you're inspired and if you want to see a season 2, you can email us at themattrockshow@gmail.com.
You know what, Matt?
Golden Jet.
Sign me up for another.
Oh, I can't wait to. You guys, thank you so much. Help us take this around the world. Make sure you share on your social media with your family, your friends. And, of course, if you didn't check out tonight's episode live or you want to see it again, go to The Matt Rock Show YouTube channel. Subscribe. Share with the world. Our mission is to take this around the world for young men and women, to encourage them to live a life of courage, confidence, and passion and empowerment. So thank you guys again. Thank you so much. And, Carlos, take us out.
Look, ain't ain't no time to be down and out. Tune in to the thing to be proud about. When you sacrifice and reach your goal, you can look back, clown, and laugh it out. You know the station that's so amazing. Need inspiration and motivation. When you're in your mind with nowhere to go, well then welcome to the Matt Rock Show. Welcome to the Matt Rock Show. Welcome to the Matt Rock Show. Welcome to the welcome to the welcome to the welcome to the welcome welcome to the Matt Rock Show.
KCAA